Hi, everybody. I've been getting a couple of questions about the sound of the beats in some of the songs on my new album, especially in the first song, Waves. So I decided I'll make a video to explain how I got that sound. Now, it's basically all about mixing, it's not a composition thing. So yeah, I'll just came up with a couple of sounds and I built a beat over them, and then we'll see how that works. So yeah, let's do that. So this is what I came up with. It's just a couple of soundscapes and a piano. So it's fairly simple. It's a 6-bar loop, and I got a couple of samples. All of them are free. And let's just listen to them. There are two beats and two kind of sound effects, Foley sounds. So these are the two beats. And these are the two sound effects. So you'll notice that they're warped, and they're not warped quite well because I don't care about that. I just chop them up and make something out of them. So this is the beat that I came up with to go along with the previous soundscape. Okay, so let's start mixing it because because it's a compilation of different sounds and samples. It doesn't sound that great, and definitely doesn't sound homogeneous. So uh, what I do is, instead of splitting the beat that I made into like kick, snare, percussion, toms, hats, and so on, I do it with different bands, different frequency bands. So I start off with the low end. The first thing I put is a utility, and I make sure that's at 0, because you always want your low end to be fixed, like dead center. And before that, I'll put an EQ3. The reason I use an EQ3 is because I just want to cancel these. I'm going to set the low frequency at 110, let's say. Maybe 100. 110 is fine for now. And then after that, I'm going to put a saturator. And okay, so let's group all these into an audio effect rack. Okay. So now this is our first chain. This is the low end. I'm gonna add 2 more chains. This is the mid. This is high. It would have been better, to be honest, to do low mids, high mids, and then high. But just for the sake of time, I'm gonna drag the EQ3 here. Move this back to 110 and remove it. The high, let's put it 4.5. Remove that. So now we have the mid. And the high will be the same thing. Just here. 4500. Delete those. So let's listen to one by one. Let's solo the low. Okay, it needs a compressor. Let's find where the kick is exactly. So here. Okay, that's sounding better. I'm just gonna put a low pass here just to make sure nothing is passing through, and then I can just compress that. Okay, now let's move to the mids. The mids we can also add a saturator maybe. Now, I'm not adding any delays or reverbs or whatever because I'm going to use those as sends and returns because it sounds better. So, let's see here. The high end, let's put a de-esser. Let's solo that. Now, the reason I put a de-esser is because even though there's only hats and stuff, but I generally don't like the sound. I generally don't like the sound of them without a de-esser because it becomes a bit too much in the mix. So, okay, let's put this at 5,000. Yeah. And gain -6. No, too much. Okay. And I want to widen that a little bit. Where's the EQ8? So it's already sounding better. If we play it with all this stuff going on, so we can compare. See, it's already sounding much fuller, and the kick especially is cutting really well into the mix. So now let's add a little bit of delays, reverbs. Now, unlike in drum racks and audio effect tracks, because they're already effects, you can't send anything to create sends and returns within the rack. So what I do is I created four tracks here. One of them is the reverb for the mids, one of the delay for the highs, a reverb for the highs, and a parallel compression for the whole thing. And the input I'm gonna send. Okay, the input would be from the first track, mid, post mixer. This is the same beat. High, post mixer, beat, high post mixer. And they're all on in. So let's open those. And these are all standard effects, like no external plugins, except for the compressor here, which has, it's a free one as well. It's called Molot, and it sounds really good. I really like it. So let's see, after we added those effects, how it's gonna work. Sorry. So now whatever I do here, these are acting like return channels. So whatever I do here is as if I added here like more channels. The last thing, and this is something I use quite a bit, it's copying this one here, the first beat, and adding a vocoder. Now, and I have this synth here, which will control the vocoder on this one. So let's listen to it on its own. And that's basically it. The one thing I forgot to mention is the thing that's controlling this is here in the returns, I have a resonator. And I said that I put a gate in front because I don't want everything to be played through it. And then just dialed in like the notes that I'm using in the vocoder. And just a simple delay, and that's what gives it its sounds. And from there on, it's a process of just playing around with faders. You can see here that I cross-faded this. Let's put all these on A. And that way it's just a process of mixing and automation as the song goes on. So yeah, uh, that's it really. It's just, yeah, I think especially the vocoder thing adds a very nice flavor, and it's unexpected in a way. So yeah, hope this was helpful, and I'll see you later. Bye.